Glory of Heracles, also known as Glory of Heracles, Proof of the Soul, is the fifth or sixth if you count the spin-off, and currently final game in the Glory of Heracles series, a video game series based on Greek mythology and is centered around Heracles, although only the first game had him as a protagonist. It is one of my favorite video games, especially among the DS games, and today I will be diving into its protagonist, Icarus, to see how powerful this hero is. Without any further ado, let's dive in. After the death of his brother Iphicles, the Greek hero Heracles worked with the inventor Daedalus to bring him back. Daedalus invented the Crisis, a device that used the souls of powerful beings, such as heroes or monsters, to raise the dead. With that, Heracles' soul would be split to revive Iphicles, but the machine went haywire and split Heracles' soul into four. Next would be going to Daedalus and his dead son, or at least a marionette of him, Icarus. Icarus was reborn without any of his memories and was dubbed Heracles by nymphs. Icarus then set off on a journey with fellow immortal with a mysterious past, Leucos, to Mount Olympus to get some answers from the gods themselves. And on their way recruited three more immortals with a mysterious past, Axios, Eris, and Iphicles, who thinks he's Heracles. Icarus, while not the most skilled fighter, is no slouch in combat. He has gained an incredible amount of experience on his journey, defeating countless monsters with a sword as his main weapon. His main attack that he learned early on is called Basic Arts, so a skill with a sword would be on the level of someone who has learned the basics of swordsmanship, and he has presumably gotten better sense. Although he wouldn't be unrealistically good, he would have the skill of a well-trained and seasoned swordsman by the end of his journey. He either carries a shield or a spear as a secondary weapon. With his shield, he can knock enemies back with a shield bash, or deflect blows directed at him or his allies. With his spear, he can deliver a devastating blow with a double strike. As for his speed, by the end of the game, Icarus' agility stat, the stat tied to combat speed, is 100 times that of when he started. And that speed was presumably the same as a normal human, as shown when skilled fighters like Patroclus being faster than him at the start of his journey. That would mean Icarus would be 100 times faster than a regular human, and a regular human's reaction time is 1/4 of a second. So Icarus's must be 1/400th of a second, which is fast enough for someone to react to attacks going Mach 1. Although I've read on some wikis that he can dodge the lightning spell Flug. I don't know if I pronounced that spell right, but in my multiple playthroughs, I've never seen him or any other character or NPC dodge a spell. But if anyone has seen him or any of his party members dodge lightning in their playthroughs, please let me know. Icarus also wears armor for extra protection, which is especially useful because Icarus is usually the one to take hits in the front line of combat. He's kind of like the group's little tank. Icarus has worn many armors, but the strongest is the priceless armor. Or if he wants to defend against magical attacks, he can wear the scaling armor, which halves any magical damage. Icarus is also proficient in magic, being able to blow up enemies with fire magic, call down lightning with wind magic, create and throw boulders with, earth magic, or freeze targets with water magic. He can also heal himself with light magic, or he can use that same light magic to summon giant swords, slam them down into enemy forces, then combine those swords, slam it again down on enemy forces with such an impact that it causes an explosion like a meteor would. He can cast these spells with ether, the life energy that courses through the world. He has to draw on the ether of the environment to make his magic stable, otherwise he will take reflex damage. Essentially, it'll blow up in his face. If there isn't enough ether of a certain type in the area, he cannot cast a spell of that type without the risk of taking damage. For example, if there wasn't enough fire ether in the area because he was on a boat in the middle of the ocean, then he could not cast a fire spell without the risk of taking reflex damage. He also has to use the ether within himself known as mana, to cast a spell in the first place. Without enough mana, he cannot use magic. Now, how powerful are these spells, you ask? The explosions created by spells like Burngram, the most powerful fire spell, and Argonia, the spell that creates the giant swords, extend through the whole screen, and even past that screen. Using the characters as reference, we can deduce that the explosion must have a radius of 20 to 30 meters, and therefore would need a power of 25 to 50 tons of TNT. Icarus also carries magical darts that contain the elemental spells with ether and mana to cast them, allowing Icarus to use spells without needing his own mana or needing to draw on ether from the environment. In case if he is injured or low on mana, he carries magical nectars that can restore health, restore mana, or a bit of both. He even has magical roots and herbs that cure poisons, petrification, paralyzation, and even cure mental status effects like confusion and forgetfulness. Then there's the Relal root, which cures all ailments the others can. There is also the Lumor root and Starstones, which can fully heal Icarus from physical injuries like a sensu bean would. But also, they can automatically heal him if he goes down. So as long as he can eat, he can cure himself of most ailments, including those of magical, physical, and mental varieties, and restore his stamina, mana, and health. And even if he can't eat, he can still get back up at full health. Even if he doesn't have any items on hand, he knows spells that can heal himself and others completely, like Paltes, and cure all ailments with the spell Relal. As said previously, Icarus is immortal because of the fragment of Heracles' soul within him. The way this immortality works is alongside not aging, Icarus is indestructible by mortal standards. However, as demonstrated by the defeat of Typhon, as well as the death of other immortal enemies you defeat during the game, this indestructibility has a limit. But even if injured to the point that would normally kill someone, Icarus could still get back up later. This is shown by the defeat of Typhon, as well as the capabilities of the immortal soldiers. Immortals will simply get back up later even if seemingly killed, and the only real way to put them down permanently is what is known as an overkill, where they take so much damage their body converts into ether. But that is easier said than done. Icarus has survived the Typhus, basically a pyramid tomb of a titan, blowing up, with him at the epicenter of the explosion, which was deep underground. The Typhus is stated to be bigger than the pyramids in Egypt according to Axios, so they would need to be around 100 meters tall. Comparing the explosion to the pyramid, the explosion would have a radius of 500 meters, which would mean it would have a power of 76 kilotons of TNT. However, that explosion happened with hundreds to thousands of tons of rock on top of it, so it could easily be way more powerful. Icarus and his party survived that without taking any damage, by the way. Icarus's most powerful attack is the Heroic Strike. By using all his mana, he can deal more damage than even Heracles himself. Scaling to Eris, whose maximum mana capacity was shown to be at the level of the Typhus, Icarus's full power would be 7.6 kilotons, right? Well, believe it or not, it's probably even greater. For context, long ago, Typhon was unleashed by the Titans, and Zeus had to get the help of Oceanus to defeat him. But Oceanus was stronger than Zeus, and Zeus was petty. Zeus had tricked Oceanus and split his soul, with Axios being one of the 3 guys who got a piece of Oceanus' soul, similar to Icarus with Heracles. Then a guy named Argon revived Typhon, and Typhon's resurrection drained the ether of the planet, causing its plant life to decay without its energy. The current plant biomass of the world is 55 gigatons, and I can't estimate the total energy all plants on Earth have, so I'll just estimate the total energy of grass on Earth. This will be a lowball for Typhon's power. Grass would have a biomass of 165 billion tons, or 165 trillion kilograms. And grass has a calorie density of 141 calories per kilogram. so all the world's grass would have 23 quadrillion calories, which is 23 million tons of TNT, almost half the strength of the Tsar Bomba, the strongest nuke on the planet. In order to take down Typhon, he had to be weakened by Oceanus, who was temporarily merged with 2 out of the 3 people who had his soul fragments. Then he was finished off by Icarus's party of 5, meaning Icarus would have to be at least 1/7 as strong as Typhon, putting his amount of mana and the power of the heroic slash at 3.2 megatons of TNT. Even if we account for the fact that Heracles was part of that party at the time and had 3/4 of his soul, that would still mean that Icarus's total output would be still over 2 megatons. Also, because he was able to take hits from Typhon, it would also have a durability of up to that amount as well. To go even further, we can scale Icarus off the item descriptions. His best shield, the Olympian Shield, uses magic to channel the power of Olympus to protect against most status ailments. This protects him against petrification, paralyzation, poisoning, and any mental afflictions, such as confusion. The Olympian Shield is Icarus's greatest defense. It is even stronger than the Pallas Athena, a shield forged from the skin of a titan. And it is also stronger than the Heaven's Brace, which is said to be able to outlast heaven. As for his weapons, his spears are no joke either. He possesses both the spears of Athena and Ares. The spear of Athena is said to be able to pierce heaven, but both pale in comparison to his most powerful spear, the Crionus, a spear forged by Zeus himself. It also possesses some of his power. Icarus also possesses the Titan Sword, a blade forged by Hephaestus himself and imbued with the power of a titan. It is even more powerful than the Heaven Rift, a blade that could cleave heaven, and Uranus' sword, a blade Uranus used to create stars. If Uranus created stars, we can compare other gods to that level, as he was overthrown by Kronos, who was overthrown by Zeus. This would mean the most powerful gods in the verse are star level or above. In the description for one of Leucos's knives, it says that even gods fear it because it harnesses the power of stars, implying that star level is able to threaten gods. Since Ares is a god and comparable to Icarus, each boss of the Typhus are titans, and the final boss is Typhon, this would mean that each member of the party has the strength of a god by the end of the game. So it wouldn't be unbelievable for them to be star level. As for speed, Orion's bow is said to shoot arrows like lightning, and Apollo's bow is able to shoot light. In the game, bows can be dodged, so it may be possible to get an enemy to dodge one of these bows and then scale Icarus off that. In summary, Icarus will be a skilled fighter with resistances to magical and physical ailments like poison, petrification, paralyzation, and mental afflictions such as confusion. With nectars, roots, and magic, Icarus can restore himself to full health. His magical abilities allows him to blast and freeze enemies and hit them with lightning, big rocks, and giant swords. Icarus would have the reaction time of 1/400th of a second, which is fast enough to react to attacks going at Mach 1. Going off of in-game feats, Icarus would have an attack potency of 25 to 50 tons of TNT with a durability of 7.6 kilotons of TNT casually. And scaling off of Typhon, he would have the mana pool, durability, and attack potency of 3.2 megatons. If we scale him off of item descriptions, Icarus would be able to potentially react to light-based attacks, giving him relativistic combat speed, and have star-level durability and attack potency. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.